All right. Hey, how are all you guys doing out there tonight? I did the opening season podcast, and I happened to mention on there that I'd probably start the trade deadline at around September 15th. Didn't really come back and say anything after that, but I hope people didn't think that just because Ryan Kelly's on the other side of the world, it was going to stop him from swinging a trade. That's right, people. We already got the first breaking trade of the season, and this one's come to you with the Bruins and the Quebec City Outlaws. So let's break down this trade, see how it went. All right, so as you can see here, this is going to be a one-for-one swap between the Bruin Ups and Suds and the Quebec City Outlaws, and also they're going to be swapping draft picks. But let's talk about the players first. So coming over to the Bruins are beefing up their defense in their rebuild. They're getting Jonas Brodin from the Minnesota Wild on a 2-year contract. Going back the other way to the Outlaws is Colin White, who's a forward. So pretty much an even swap with these guys. They both have 2-year contracts and everything. But the biggest news on this trade would be the swapping of first round picks. So the Bruins and the Outlaws are going to swap picks. However, they're not swapping their own picks. So these picks got a bit of a history here. So the Bruins are actually swapping the Flying Colors 5th-round pick. It became their pick and is now the Quebec City Outlaws. So the Outlaws are sitting at 4th and 5th here. Now you can see down here. So they're going to get some nice choice players in this up and coming draft. And going the other way is going to be Quebec City's draft pick, which was originally the New Brunswick Bears, who are now the Greenwood Highlanders. I love that name, really do. So it was the Bears pick, and then it was the Outlaws pick, and is now the Bruins pick. So basically, what happened here is the Outlaws picked up the 5th overall pick, and the Bruins moved back to 10th overall pick. But if you take a look at this here, it works out pretty good for both guys here, even though I guess Ryan could have stacked up, but I have a feeling Eichel may have scared him out of that spot. So he's going to leave that decision up to JP, I think. But it works out good for JP because he comes out in a strong draft, getting both picks 4 and 5. But if you take a look at RK's here, he has 4 first rounders, and they're all nicely spaced here. So he's basically going to get a player in the first quadrant, or in all 4 quadrants of the first round of the draft. So that works out really good. That's kind of how I break it down, is into 4s when I'm looking at whether how to put who over top of who in that. So that works out really good for Ryan. So basically there's the trade. First one of the year. Brodin going to the Bruins and White going over to the Outlaws, swapping draft picks. The Chiefs are picking up the 5th overall pick, and the Bears are moving back to 10th overall pick. So that's your first trade of the year. And here we go, guys. It's I'm gearing up for it, and I'm gunning up for it. Oh, one last thing before I go, I kind of want to talk about, just throw this out here. I'm going to be doing more about it. Dono has left a message on the board asking for a Friday draft on the Thanksgiving weekend. But here's the deal. Dono's an RCMP officer, and he can't just move around his schedule just as easy as I know how we can in the military. Like, it's pretty easy to switch a shift in the military. Not as easy for an RCMP guy to do that. And Dono's already had to sacrifice a draft. So I would really like to accommodate him this year. So he's working Saturday night. So that Saturday draft just doesn't work for him at all, but Friday night does work for him. So I'm going to throw it out there right now about a very possible Friday draft instead of a Saturday draft. So I'll let that sink in for you for just a little bit. And there we go. We got our first trade of the year. We're off and running. Take care, boys, and peace out.